Yeah, so back in the 90s when I went to Bar Harbor for the first time, I couldn't find work and I couldn't find housing, and in order to find both, I wound up working for these old Jews at Bubba's Family Restaurant. They had a family restaurant, and I don't know if I can do a Philly accent. You know, they say water. You know, it's not really a New York accent. They say, John, would you like some water? Hello, John, you're going to love it here. It's going to be great. You're going to serve alcohol and food and water. Anyways, Mrs. E, Mrs. Ellis, and Mr. E, they were like my grandparents' age, and they were from Philly, and they were a fucking nightmare, because they knew how to tap into my chords of shame and guilt from the Jewy Jews that I am from, the nut job sociopaths from whence I spring, and they just basically didn't know that they were elitist assholes whose bitch I was, and that in order to continue to stay there and work there, in order to have a place to live, I had to live over like you're serving burgers to Maine drunk assholes, and then you become a server of alcohol, which is really fun because the people know you then, and now they're just talking shit at you. Hey, buddy, lobster, buddy. Can I have another Jack Daniels, buddy? Hey. I once smelled a guy's water glass to see if it was wine, and he goes, did you just smell my water glass? And I went, yeah, I was trying to see if it was wine. He goes, that's disgusting. I said, I know. So I'm there in Maine, and the one guy says to me, are you from the South? And I was like, no, I was in a Christian cult, and I'm an actor. And then he looked at me like, oh, you're an imposter. How did you get in here? There was Lonnie, the not-so-bright brother, and his bride from the Maldives or whatever. There was Mary, the shiksa with red hair, the Catholic girl in the piss and vinegar. There was Malcolm, the acerbic, intellectual, failed artist, older brother that kind of ran the joint and was a dick to me. Got mad when I called and asked where the ice cream was, and I said, screw you, I'll quit. And he was back down, and the other waitress was like amazed. I did this in the other take. And so, eventually, I just was in hell. And initially, I took the job because I didn't really want it, but I needed a place to live, right? And literally, like it looked like sharecropper huts behind their fucking place, right? I would go to sleep and smell burgers and hear people yelling and go, God, I never left work, and I'm paying these people my paycheck in rent. The way I came to meet my roommate was that Mrs. E brought me back there to these, sharecropper cabins, and there in the bottom floor, a very small alcove, is Ed, gay guy with a shirt on and his dick hanging out, nothing on the bottom, a pink TV, and he's watching the TV and he's yelling at me, okay, now listen, this is my TV. And we watch what I want, when I want, on my TV. If you come home and I'm not here and you want to watch something, go ahead. But the minute I show up, we're watching what I want, when I want, on my TV. Because it's my TV. Get your own TV in your bedroom, and then you go watch what you want. And he would sit there with a brass one here and a schlong hanging out, right? Like a big kind of languid snake there, right? Some kind of basking in the sun and warming its... Because reptiles are cold-blooded, and they... Thought I explained the joke. It's just sometimes funnier when you do that. I don't know. So anyways, he would sit there with his Johnson hanging out and just pontificate on Jessica, right? Mary Jesse Raphael, right? Phil Donahue, right? The precursors of the crazy bullshit that happened later, and he would just, right? This was my gay aversion therapy. I'm not at all judgmental of gay people. I have issues that I don't want to go into. I have difficulty relating to women, so sometimes I'm like, gee, maybe a guy, but probably not, because I was assaulted as a kid, and you just can't differentiate, and then let's not. But I didn't hate Ed, but it was so kind of gross to sit there and go, can you please put your penis away? Can I have a single toke out of the one here? No. Can we watch anything other than a crazy talk show where people are on the verge of fighting, and then you scream like a fucking queen? Can we just not? End of the season. Ed makes a speech, and I will never forget the speech. This is the speech. I am so sick of being a waiter for straight people. I'm going on a gay cruise for 3 months, and for 3 months, I don't want to speak to another straight person the entire time. And I was like, you know what? This has now become comedy. I said, John, in the future, when you remember this story and tell it as great material, if you find anyone to tell it to, which is still yet to be determined, remember that this hell was for a reason. Your life is a bad joke played on you by God, and it's really funny if you look at it in a really diabolical way. Boy, that didn't go the way I wanted. But anyways, I don't hate Ed. He was hysterical, and years later, I went and saw, I saw WandaSykes on TV doing comedy, And I'll see if I can do WandaSykes for just a minute. I don't know if I can do it. She's great. I want to cast her in one of my screenplays. And so, you know, I was working this gay cruise, and they had this music. They got this music. They do boom, 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 you know? And I went to the buffet, and they had that, you know, hanging out. And I was like, boom, 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 boom. And can you stop that music with you know? Don't get your penis in the salad, you know? Okay, I did WandaSykes very poorly because I'm a perfectionist. That wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. I'd like to apologize to WandaSykes, gay men everywhere, and their penises. I know that you don't just, you know, randomly, ambiently drop it in the salad bar. Sometimes the soup, but that's because it's part of the soup. Okay. I wanted to tell the story about Mr. and Mrs. E. I didn't get any of them right. I didn't do Lonnie. I didn't do Malcolm. I can do the grandparents, but I'm going to go Google a fucking Philly accent and do it. I love you, WandaSykes. I love you, gay people. Penises, you do without them. All right, later.